Good day, brothers and sisters in Christ. Welcome to the fourth Sunday of Advent, Year C. The theme of our reflection is the path to peace. See, I've come to do your will. Hebrews chapter 10 from verse 5 to 10. The essence of Christian spirituality is learning how to do God's will. Unfortunately, we do it at our convenience. An elderly Scottish lady who went from home to home across the countryside selling thread, buttons, and shoestrings illustrates this reality. She had a peculiar habit. When she came to an unmarked crossroad, she would toss a stick into the air and go in the direction the stick pointed when it landed. One day, however, she was seen tossing the stick up several times. "Why do you toss the stick more than once?" someone asked. "Because," replied the woman, "it keeps pointing to the left, and I want to take the road on the right." She kept throwing the stick into the air until it pointed to where she wanted to go. We often behave like this Scottish woman in our desire to do God's will. We are committed to His will only when it suits us. The theme of this last Sunday of Advent is peace, which only results from doing God's will. Our first reading and the psalm refer to the anguish of exile that the people of Israel endured due to their failure to do God's will. The second reading and the gospel reading show us how Mary and Jesus accomplished our redemption by doing the will of God. The first reading tells us, "He shall give them up until the time when she who is in labor has brought forth." Elizabeth confirmed this about Mary. "And blessed is she who believed that there will be a fulfillment of what was spoken of her by the Lord." And Jesus defined his mission. "See, I've come to do your will." Despite their circumstances, Jesus and Mary were peaceful because they did God's will. Why is it difficult to do God's will if it is indispensable and the only path, peace? We fail to do God's will because we do not take ourselves as seriously as God takes us. God has created you to fulfill a specific role in this world. No other person can achieve what God has purposely created you to do. According to St. Peter, as each one has received a gift, minister it to one another as God's steward of the manifold grace of God. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10. Many of us live in spiritual exile and are never satisfied due to our failure to live according to God's will. Not to do the will of God is trying to live someone else's life. I remember the saying of the poet Hafiz, and I quote, "This place where you are right now, God cycled on the map for you." Just imagine for a moment that Mary refused to do God's will at the Annunciation. Like Mary, we must never forget that doing God's will is indispensable. We need humility, however, to realize this vital truth. The Basilica of the Nativity in Bethlehem has only one entrance. You must bend down to pass through it. Some say it was built this way so that the Bedouins could not enter seated on their camels. But another explanation has always been given, containing a profound spiritual truth. This door is supposed to remind pilgrims that to penetrate the deep meaning of Christmas, it is necessary to humble oneself and become little. In becoming little, we allow God to act in our lives. Humility reminds us that we are God's instruments. St. Augustine states in his letters 118, paragraph 22, and I quote, "The way to Christ is first through humility, second through humility, and third through humility. If humility does not proceed and accompany and follow every good work we do, if it is not before us to focus on, if it is not beside us to lean upon, if it is not behind us to fence in, pride will wrench from our hand any good deed we do at every moment we do it. End of quote. Humility is the way to peace. It enables us to shave our egos and align our thoughts and actions to God. It allows us to diminish so that God can increase and act through us. This week, I invite you to do the following. The Knights have constructed a beautiful Christmas crypt outside the church. Whenever you pass through it, kindly say a Hail Mary in your appreciation for what Mary did for us at the Annunciation. Secondly, this season is marked by generosity. As we wrap those last presents and send those last cards, remember those who receive no gift and no friendly greeting. Give a gift that won't be returned in kind, just as God gave us Jesus. Have a blessed week and a Merry Christmas.